Good evening, welcome to Express News. Over the next 30 minutes, we take a quick fire look at all the 100 stories from India and abroad, taking stock of the big events of the day. Let's get started. I'm Anil Thomas with the top 100 stories. India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson at a press conference spoke on Qatar court commuting a death sentence of 8 Indians. He stressed that the interest of their family members is the government's foremost concern. India reiterated that mainstreaming of radical outfits in Pakistan is nothing new, and India will continue to monitor elements for national security. Speaking on the upcoming elections in Bangladesh, MEA spokesperson stressed that India's position has been consistent and that India would like to see peaceful and fair elections in the country. The central and state governments of Assam have finally signed the long-elusive tripartite peace accord with the major faction of one of the biggest separatist group of the region, the United Liberation Front of Assam. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman attended a session on transforming India into the new decade, where she emphasized on the pivotal role of youth in realizing Prime Minister's vision of a developed India by 2047. Prime Minister will visit Ayodhya in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on December 30th to inaugurate various projects, including Ayodhya Airport. In Ayodhya, the Prime Minister will also launch new Amrit Bharat trains. Preparations are on in full swing for the consecration ceremony of Lord Ram in the pilgrim city, as the workers and teams involved in beautifying the holy city of Ayodhya in the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. Northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh's government has unveiled an opportunity that is offering employment opportunity with a monthly wage of 1.37 lakh in Israel, as Israeli government is seeking help from India to send construction workers there. A thick blanket of fog envelops several parts of North India, while cold weather conditions continue to prevail in the region. Very dense fog in isolated pockets of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana and western Rajasthan. Shallow to moderate fog reported in Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha and Bihar. Indian Coast Guard on Thursday successfully evacuated an Indian passenger with heart ailment from an Italian flag cruise liner. The passenger was evacuated approximately 80 nautical miles off the coast of Goa state in western India. As the second edition of the Kashi Tamil Sangamam is underway in the North Indian city of Varanasi, the 7th batch of Kashi Tamil Sangamam has arrived in the city. The Indian government's outreach program, Prasar Bharati Sankalp Yatra, reached Bilaspur in the central Indian state of Chhattisgarh on Friday, where Indian Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur participated in the event. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra also reached Fatehpur in North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. Minister of State Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti distributed enrollment certificates to beneficiaries of several government schemes. The active cases of corona has increased to 4,091, with 797 new cases of corona reported in the country in the last 24 hours, with 5 people reportedly dead. Rehearsals for India's Republic Day parade is going on at New India's Kartavya Path. The parade, held every year on 26th of Jan, is the main attraction for Republic Day. India's western state of Gujarat is set to start a submarine service in the ancient city of Dwarka, submerged in Arabian Sea. Through this submarine, Dwarka can be seen from 3,000 feet below. The government of India's northernmost state of Jammu and Kashmir has introduced a new hydroponic technology to grow vegetables in PVC pipes, as it makes up for the space crunch, mostly in urban areas. According to the latest World Economic League table report by the Center for Economics and Business Research, India is on track to becoming the world's largest economic superpower by 2080, surpassing both China and the US. While by the year 2032, India will overtake Japan and Germany as the world's third largest economy. At close, the equity markets finished 2023 on an upbeat note, as the benchmark indices Nifty 50 and BSE Sensex are near the all-time highs, gaining 20% and 18% respectively throughout the year. At close, rupee settles 1 paise lower at 83.21 against the US dollar. Global crude oil prices are set to end 2023 about 10% lower, the first annual decline in 2 years. The US stock index S&P 500 closed essentially unchanged on Thursday. European shares advanced on Friday with media and energy companies among the top gainers. Asia-Pacific markets fell on the last trading day of 2023, with China stocks being the sole exception as the country's tech companies continued their upward advance. Japanese shares notched their biggest annual gain in a decade on Friday. Elon Musk's X on Thursday failed to block a California state law after U.S. District Judge William Shub dismissed the social media company's request. Alphabet's Google has agreed to settle a major lawsuit which accuses the Alphabet company of secretly monitoring the online activities of countless individuals. According to court documents, the search giant agreed to resolve claims that despite promises of piracy, it tracked the internet activity of users browsing and what they believe was an undercover mode. Israel's military has expanded its ground offensive in central and southern Gaza, targeting terror group Hamas. Egypt confirms that it had put forward a framework proposal to end the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Thousands of teenagers in Israel took part in a march in an effort to press the Israeli government and the international community to demand the hostages' immediate release. The Western power condemned that Iran is accelerating its production of highly enriched uranium following the International Atomic Energy Agency report. After a high-level meeting earlier this week between the US and Mexican officials regarding the issue of migrants crossing over into the US, both have now agreed over to enact plans, especially that will help in curbing the unprecedented migrant inflows. Maine, the top election official, has barred Donald Trump from the state primary election ballot, the second state to block the former president's bid for re-election after Colorado. Argentina's most influential workers' union called for a national strike next month over President Evo Milei's reforms aimed at liberalizing the country's economy. Venezuelan president expressed unhappiness over the deployment of British warships, the Royal Navy patrol vessel HMS Trent, in the waters near Guyana coast. A Panama-flagged bulk carrier has been hit by a Russian mine in the Black Sea, injuring 2 crew members. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Ukraine's alternative Black Sea export corridor has sent 12 million tons of cargo so far. Russia-Ukraine attack continues. 12 civilians in Ukraine have been killed, dozens wounded as residential buildings in Kyiv hit. A warehouse in Kyiv was severely damaged by the strikes, as well as a factory and a high-rise building. Russian missiles hit Zaporozhye, killing 1 and wounding at least 10, according to Ukrainian officials. The attack destroyed a house, damaged several apartment blocks, according to Yuri Malasko, the governor of Zaporozhye region. Ukraine and Hungary are preparing a meeting of President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Viktor Orban in the near future amid recent steps by Hungary that have sour ties. Congo's main observer mission reported numerous irregularities related to last week's presidential and legislative elections that could undermine some election results. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres delivered his New Year address in a pre-recorded speech. In his speech, the UN chief talked about the outgoing year and its shortcoming while removing hope for the upcoming year. The New York Times sued OpenAI and its biggest backer Microsoft in a US court over copyright infringement. The US military secretive X-37B robot space plane blasted off from Florida on its 7th mission, the first launched atop a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket, capable of delivering it to a higher orbit than ever before. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez on Friday named Carlos Cuerpo as his new economy and trade minister, replacing Nadia Calvino. Massive waves battered the coast of California. Storms in the Pacific Ocean whipped up coastal waves that led to flooding, and evacuation orders were in place at several places in North California. The National Weather Service warned these conditions are deadly and the worst is yet to come. The UK's Meteorological Office has forecast more heavy rain to come this weekend after two rare supercell thunderstorms hit northwest England. Australia is bracing for an intense heat wave across its north and west during the New Year holiday weekend, with temperatures forecast to touch more than 45 degrees Celsius. Budapest grapples with rare December floods as the Danube beach's banks hit a 10-year high of 6.93 meters. Year-end holidaymakers across China were bracing for possible transport disruptions after the Weather Bureau warned that heavy fog and haze would shroud areas from Hebei province in the north to southern Shanghai. A thick layer of smog continues to cover almost all of North India, according to the IMD. Sri Lanka is battling widespread flooding caused by heavy rainfall across the island nation. The Department of Meteorology has issued warnings for thunderstorms in eastern and Uva province, while rain is expected in the northern and north-central province, Matale, Nuwara, Elia and Hambantota districts. Authorities in Da Lat city of Lam Dong province, located in Vietnam's central highlands, have adorned its streets with flowers to warmly welcome tourists. The murals portray stories of typical images of Da Lat city. Lam Dong province anticipates hosting 8.65 million tourists this year. Dubai embraced the holiday spirit with the revival of its captivating winter city at Expo City Dubai from December 15 this year to January 7th of 2024. India's Jammu and Kashmir is gearing up for the New Year celebration on the 31st of December. The Directorate of Tourism Kashmir orchestrating events at major tourist destinations like Gulmarg, Pahalgam and Sonmarg. Tourists in Kashmir are said to be thrilled by the combination of live music, laser shows, DJ nights and ice skating in the newly established Sonmarg ice skating rink. Celebrating rich history and culture of Kutch, the globally acclaimed Ran Utsav in the Indian state of Gujarat is attracting thousands of tourists worldwide. India's Shimla hosted a dog show for the first time for the tourists in the fourth day of the week-long Shimla Winter Carnival. Dog lovers paraded their pet pooches down the red carpet at a dog show to spread awareness about different canine breeds. A 5-day island tourism festival is underway in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands after a gap of almost 4 years. The festival will continue till the 31st of December at 15 venues in the archipelago, offering a diverse array of events such as cultural showcases, entertaining games and tempting food courts. A youth from North India's Srinagar has turned his small courtyard into a hydroponic farm that grows fresh vegetables. The method involves growing plants without soil. An unexpected visitor, a leopard, strayed into a residential area in India's Maharashtra on Thursday and was rescued after about 5 hours. The Thinker, a renowned sculpture by French artist Auguste Rodin, has been reborn in Chile to address future AI questions. Locals approached the 3.2-meter tall statue to ask questions such as climate change effect on the weather. Thousands of volunteers gathered at the Decorators Village in California to assist in decorating dozens of floats for the annual Rose Parade. Over 10,000 hours have been spent to prepare for the event involving the delivery of millions of flowers. Dozens of celebrants known as Els Efrenats donned military attire and sashes as they staged a mock coup in Ibi, a small Spanish town. During the annual festival, they hurled flour and eggs, creating a messy spectacle. Hundreds of homeless people in La Paz receive free showers, food, clothes, haircuts, and toys at an evangelical church. The church volunteers help prepare food, sort through clothes and toy donations through a project called Good Samaritan. At the 17th annual Good Riddance Day, people from all over the world lined up in the New York City's Times Square to burn their bad memories of 2023. At the Good Riddance Day, attendees were urged to jot down the year's unpleasant memories on flash paper, which a magician promptly incinerated, vanishing them into air. Indian actress Kareena Kapoor Khan is on a Swiss vacation. The actor took to her social media account to share pictures of her vacation where she can be seen having fun. Indian actress Nayanthara has completed 20 years in the entertainment industry as she expressed her gratitude towards her fans for their love and support. Indian actress Isha Kopikar and her husband Timmy Narang are reportedly going their separate ways. The two were married for 14 years and are parents to a daughter. Gary Oldman recently critiqued his performance in the Harry Potter franchise in a podcast. While speaking at the podcast, the actor called his performance in the globally hit franchise as mediocre. Meadow Walker, the daughter of late actor Paul Walker, on Thursday announced a divorce from Louis Thornton Allen after almost 3 years of marriage. As rapper Eminem's legal beef with the Real Housewives of Potomac stars Gisela Bryant and Robin Dixon rages on, the rapper has requested a protective order against Gisela and Robin. Comedian Tom Smothers, who with his brother performed as a singing comedy duo, the Smothers Brothers, have died at the age of 86 due to cancer. British director and actor David Leland, who rose to international fame with his directorial debut, Wish You Were There, has passed away at the age of 82. South Africa beating India by an innings and 32 runs in the first Test match. South Africa defeated India by an innings and 32 runs in the first Test match in Centurion on Thursday. Indian team was penalized for a slow over rate in the first Test against South Africa in Centurion. Indian team lost 2 points in the ICC World Test Championship standings and were also fined 10% of their match fee. South African captain Themba Bavuma has been ruled out of next year's or New Year's Test match against India after suffering an hamstring strain that kept him out of most of the Boxing Day Test match that got over in 3 days. Dean Elgar will lead South Africa in what will be his final Test match. Elgar scored a match-winning knock to help South Africa win the first Test. Indian pacer Avesh Khan has been added to the squad for the second Test against South Africa as a replacement for Mohammad Shami, who remains unavailable due to an injury. Avesh was instrumental in India winning the ODI series. Pat Cummins' second 10-wicket haul in Test has spurred Australia to a thrilling 79-run win over Pakistan at the Melbourne Cricket Ground on Friday. The second T20 match between New Zealand and Bangladesh ended with no result after rain poured heavily after 11 overs at the game on Friday. Bangladesh won the first match and lead the 3-match series 1-0. Indian women succumbed to a 6-wicket defeat despite recording their highest ever ODI total against Australia in the first ODI on Thursday at the Wankhede. The second match will be played on Saturday at the same venue. World number 1 Novak Djokovic has arrived in Australia to prepare for the Australian Open and will also represent Serbia at the United Cup mixed team tournament in Perth. 10-time Australian Open champion Novak Djokovic said he is happy to return back to Down Under, a place where he has the biggest Grand Slam success of his career on the hard courts of Melbourne. Arsenal, meanwhile, missed a golden chance to go back to the top of the English Premier League as they succumbed to a shock home defeat to an impressive West Ham side. They lost 0-2 to West Ham. Cameroon have included goalkeeper Andre Onana in their squad for next month's African Cup of Nations finals on Thursday. Brazilian soccer legend Pelé, regarded as one of the all-time greats, passed away on this very day last year. Pelé won 3 World Cup tournaments with Brazil and scored 1,283 goals in his professional career. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Express News. I hope you liked the program. You can also watch this program. You can also connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can visit our website ddindia.co.in. That's it from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Have a safe and wonderful evening ahead.